His name was Richard. To outsiders, he remained Richard. To his own, Richie. But over time, another name appeared. The kind you're not given. It settles on you. Indomito. That's not just what you call a man. That's what you call someone who couldn't be broken. This is Sonny, Sledgehammer. That name didn't come by accident. His strength wasn't in his size. His strength was in the decision to act without pause. A name with nothing extra, and that's exactly why it fit. He wasn't a man of words or pressure. He appeared when things reached the limit and finished what others couldn't. And Luca. But among them, he was called differently. Rossino. And it wasn't about the color of his hair. He was simply the youngest, one of their own. That rare kind of person who, in this life, could still be kept from being lost. This man was not chosen by accident. His name was Richard Vitali, the son of Italian immigrants raised in a family where words carried weight. He served in the police. He was trusted with difficult assignments because he stayed in control and didn't make mistakes others would pay for. He understood these people, how they lived, how they thought, what they held on to. He was precise, calm under pressure, reliable. That's why the federal agents came to him. They needed someone on the inside, a family controlling the alcohol trade, production, supply, money. Many had tried from the outside. No one got through. They needed someone who could enter and stay. He was told there was no way back. His name would disappear. If he failed, no help would come. It was a one-shot operation. He agreed. And from that moment, Richard Vitali stopped being a cop and became part of the system he was sent to destroy. Indomito got in clean and became part of the group, one large family. This kind of work leaves no room for error. It demands discipline, awareness, and the ability to act immediately, because in moments like that, no one explains what's happening. One night, he was assigned to escort a shipment. Alcohol was moving from warehouses through the city, then to the port, where it was set to go east. It was routine work, the kind where things usually go wrong. The attack came fast. Cars blocked the road, and gunfire opened on the convoy immediately. It was controlled from a distance with serious weapons, automatics used by experienced men. In the first seconds, it was clear. This wasn't random. It was a precise hit on the cargo. Richie didn't freeze. He moved immediately, took position, and went to work. He shot the way people do when they understand. This isn't just an enemy. It's a situation that has to be shut down. One by one, he took out the men holding the line of fire, broke the rhythm of the attack, forced them back, and gave his people time to regroup. The shootout ended as fast as it began. The cargo stayed intact. The trucks reached their destination. Their losses were lower than what usually comes with something like that. After that, they looked at him differently, no longer as a newcomer, but as someone who could hold the line when everything starts to fall apart. And after that night, he got a name: Indomito. After that night, they stopped keeping him at a distance. Richie was moved up to where decisions are made. He was brought to the man who held this business together, not the boss, the one everything actually ran through. Money, deals, people, it all passed through him. He knew which police looked the other way, which politicians took their share, and where control ended when someone stepped out of line. They didn't discuss details with him. They simply showed him how everything worked and made it clear. Now he was inside. At that same moment, they told him who he would be working with: Sonny.
He had been in the family for a long time and lived by its rules. Big, heavy, slow at first glance. But that was misleading. On the job, he moved fast and precise. When pressure was needed, he applied it. When something had to be finished, he finished it. Men like that don't negotiate. They close things. People said it simply, if Sonny shows up on a job, there's nothing left to discuss. He handled the machine gun the way others use their hands. For him, it was just a tool. From that moment on, they started working together. Back then, Richie still didn't understand what place this man would take in his life.
At the same time, he continued carrying out the mission he had been sent there for. Information was moving out regularly. Through a contact, he passed details about routes, warehouses, and shipment times. And it was enough for the police to start acting more precisely and more aggressively. Raids increased across the city. Shipments were being intercepted, people taken in faster than before, and it began to affect the entire system. Changes like that never go unnoticed. Inside, they started looking for the leak. Not blindly, methodically, checking those who had access to key points. At some point, they called him in. The conversation was short. 2 photographs were placed on the table. Men who had already appeared before and had taken part in that same night attack on the shipment. Now they had to be eliminated. The job was given to him. And in that moment, it became clear. This wasn't just work. It was a test that would decide whether he stayed inside or disappeared as quietly as the men he was sent to find. At some point, Richie stopped checking in. On the outside, he simply disappeared. Messages stopped, contact points went silent. It was clear something had gone wrong. Inside, they noticed it too. Disruptions like that aren't ignored. Suspicion came quickly, and Richie was among those being checked. This was no longer about trust. It was about whether he could stay or needed to be removed. That's when, for the first time, someone spoke for him. Sonny. He said it simply. If Richie had been working against them, the last shipment wouldn't have made it through. Things like that don't happen by chance. Richie wasn't cleared, he was given another chance. But it wasn't a chance for trust. It was the next test, where they don't look at how you work, but at who you've become. There is a line a person crosses, after which they don't return to their old life. For a police officer, it's not a mistake. It's the moment he stops belonging to the side he started with. By then, Richie was already too deep inside, and one day, the situation changed. The rivals crossed the line. They attacked Sonny. It happened in the evening near his home. He survived, but that alone meant one thing. There would be a response. Things like that are never left unanswered. The decision was made quickly. It wasn't just about retaliation. It had to be done in a way that no one would try it again. The target was already known. The head of the other side and his men gathered in the same place at the same time. Richie was put in charge of the operation. The plan was simple. He arrived there in a police uniform, not alone, with men who looked like a regular unit. They entered as if it were a raid, lined everyone up against the wall, as if for an arrest. In that moment, it could still have been stopped, but he didn't. The shots came almost at once. No one had time to understand what was happening. It wasn't a shootout. It was an execution. After that, everything became clear. Richie was no longer playing a role. He became part of the system, and the system accepted him. This execution didn't go unnoticed. What happened that night spread beyond a single hit. It became a signal to everyone in the business. The Thompson was already in use, but after attacks like this, it became the weapon of the street. the Tommy gun. The one who had it held the advantage. The city reacted immediately. Police pressure increased. Raids, inspections, arrests. Warehouses, routes, people, all came under pressure. Prohibition didn't weaken, it tightened. And the more pressure grew, the more money moved underground. Bootleggers were earning faster than the system could stop them. Crime was no longer street activity. It became an economy. That night didn't change everything at once, but it marked the moment the system moved to another level, one that couldn't be stopped by ordinary means. Her name was Lucy. She didn't choose this. After several arrests, she was given a choice that wasn't really a choice: prison or work. She agreed. From that moment, she became an agent inside the same system. Only a few knew about her. She passed information, appeared where needed, and disappeared before anyone could remember her. Richie knew who she was and understood her role, and at some point their paths crossed. By then, he was already too deep. Through tests, through blood, through decisions you don't come back from. When the task was given to him, he understood it immediately, without questions and without trying to find another way out. And he carried it out. In that moment, he cut the connection for good. Lucy was the last thread tying him to the state, and he severed it. After that, there was nothing left to return to. What was meant to happen, happened. The head of the Mafia was arrested. The arrests were swift. Those who made decisions and those who carried them out were taken. The house had already been under control. He was taken without resistance. With him went those responsible for security and communication. After that, the system didn't stop. It cleared space. Structures like this don't disappear. They redistribute. Soon, those who remained on the outside gathered. The decision was made quickly. The choice fell on him. That's how Richie became Indomitable, a man who wasn't feared but respected, and who was put forward as the new head of the Mafia. From that moment on, the path of a police officer became the path of a Mafia boss.